Welcome back to the channel. I am Delmico L. Cunningham, better known as Dr. Media. So as I have talked about on the channel, we've switched some things up. I'm still doing the video content, I'm still doing all the tutorial stuff like that, but I'm starting to get more into the world of media. So with that, about 2 weeks ago, I posted a video for why you hating on Doom. Because so many people, so many of the trolls, the little troll, I still don't have that troll bell yet, but so many of the trolls are coming out and talking about, I think Doom's gonna suck. I think, once again, they're not smart. Because Bethesda and id Software did something that I was hoping they would do. Doom, to me, right now, Doom that is out, Doom 2016, is the spiritual successor to what the original Doom was. Now, I've spent about 15 hours within the game, playing it on medium difficulty, and play it on that. I always play it on like the middle, and then go back later and play it on the ultra hardcore and everything else like that. But what I can tell you from the time I've spent inside of Doom is that, one, picking up the game and just installing it and starting it from the very beginning, I was kind of like, wow, this game looks really, really impressive. The graphics of the game look really good. They're using a lot of modern technologies. There's a lot of post-processing happening. Realistically, I was a little overwhelmed at what was happening on the screen. Now, for my main gaming machine, I have actually two cross-fired R9 380Xs in there, and they are overclocked editions, and they are XFX overclocks. It's not a super rig, but it's a decent rig. It's a 1080p playing rig, and the game was fluid. I don't think I've ever put in a game, and especially on day one, and especially playing on AMD hardware. I love AMD, but you know, day one for AMD is never really a good time with most games. I can remember my Just Cause 3 first day was horrendous, but I still do love AMD hardware. And the first day playing this on the 380s, not a problem. The graphics were pushed to the brink. I had things like local reflections. I've got lighting effects coming in. I've got smoke, particle effects, and texturing looked amazing. Everything in this game just broods what current generation should look like. If anyone else is out there paying attention, especially when it comes to the world of first-person shooters, if you are not at the level right now of id and Bethesda and the IDTECH engine, then go back to the drawing board. Your game sucks. It needs, you know, and I'm saying if you're going for that style of game, because there's all different kinds of styles of games, but if you're going for this ultra realistic, super polished look at what Doom is doing, then they hit the mark. Graphics, I would have to end up giving graphics a 9 out of 10 if I'm doing that on a rating scale, which I think we will start doing on a rating scale around here. So I'm giving the graphics inside of Doom a 9 out of 10, easily. Now, the other thing comes down to gameplay. A lot of people I've heard kind of talks about gameplay being glitchy and things like that. I can say from my own personal experience that I am a Twitch style first-person shooter player, and as I mentioned in the Doom video, the previous Doom video, that I quit really playing games at a semi-competitive level when first-person shooters became more like what Call of Duty's formula has become. I'm not a fan of how those games work. I'm just not, and a lot of times in those games I feel like it's not me that sucks, but sometimes it's the net play or the net lag or something else that makes it suck. When I die in Doom, I know it was my fault. I just was not fast enough. In that vein, the gameplay in Doom is breakneck speed. It's like playing the game on turbo. And the thing that kind of threw me back a little bit from playing the game, because one of the last FPSs that I played was actually Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and while that game is visually striking, with the Call of Duty games and games like that in modern FPSs, they have this pace and this synergy to them that kind of, you know, I don't know, they try to be realistic, but you're flying off the side of a wall. So I don't get that. Now in Doom, it feels like breakneck speed the whole time. It's a quick Twitch style shooter. It's a it harkens back to what the original Doom gameplay was supposed to be like, and I really enjoy that in a three-dimensional space. I think that they nailed it. They did an awesome job at it. Fantastic for id and for Bethesda with kind of getting that under lock, stock, and barrel. Now, the multiplayer, I'm going to do a separate video for multiplayer because I have not played multiplayer yet. And like I say, I've only done about 10 to 15 hours inside of Doom. I want to finish the campaign. But what I've played so far is, I honestly have to say, it is really just kind of amazing. The gameplay is fluid. The gameplay is quick. The level design actually works. A lot of people talk about the classic level design from Doom, from the original game, and I think that this does a nice homage to that kind of gameplay. When you think about Doom, there was not a lot of verticality when it came to the original Doom. I mean, you're in corridors. Corridor leads off into an arena, and the arena goes into other corridors, and that was what Doom was, and finding the secrets, finding the secret wall, the secret, where the guns and weapons and stuff were at. I think they did a good job of taking that to the third dimension. Because even when you look at original Doom, Doom really was not in 3D. It was really like 2.5D if you really want to be technical about it. But I think that what they've done with this, they have made a modern version of Doom, and it is a fantastic thrill ride for people like myself. I dig the game. I love it. I think if you haven't already gone out and bought it, now I'm not playing it on console, so I can't speak to the Xbox One or the PS4, but I can say on PC, this is definitely a buy. You want to go out and buy this as soon as you can. Get out there and Doom, and if you're looking and I'm around, you can always add Demon PHX, DMON PHX to your friends list on Steam, and I might play a round of Doom with you. So for me, I think that this is a fantastic title. I think they nailed everything. Now, some people talk about story. This is not a game for there to be a story. What point is there to be a story? The story is you're a badass Marine. You kill demons. End of story. There's literally nothing else. You do not need to know anything else, because that's, for me, how the original Doom was. I didn't need to know, why he was motivated to kill the demons and why the demons were coming from hell. Only thing I need to know is where the ammunition is at, where the health packs are at, and how do you point my gun at the next demon. That's all I needed to know, and that's all that mattered to me. And it was freaking fun to do all of that. A lot of people talked about the executions. I will say the executions do kind of slow down gameplay, but it makes sense in how they slow down gameplay. At least for me, it did. By doing the executions, you're getting health, you're getting ammo. So it's a strategic thing. Like maybe you're running around, you're killing like 4 or 5 demons, and all of a sudden you realize you're at 40% health. Then you stagger a couple of demons, rip them in half, and get some health out of them and get some ammo. And then you keep doing the same thing. Like, it's freaking awesome. One of the things that I can say that I won't say I didn't enjoy it, but it was kind of tedious in the original games, is you're running around, you're looking for ammo, running around looking for health, running around. So it was a break in continuity of gameplay, because you were having to go find health, go find armor, things like that. Which I'm not saying that wasn't good. I'm just saying that for me, that's what broke up the original gameplay. With this, they keep you pressed. They keep the player pressed in the middle of battle, in the middle of these small arenas or some larger arenas, with gameplay, with the demons coming at you. By doing the executions, you can stay in the fight. You're not running around looking for ammo and pickups. You're staying there. You're engaged in that, and you feel like a total badass. Like, the weapon upgrades that you get just make you feel like a total badass. The one thing that I can probably say is I did not really like from the very beginning was the pistol. Like, you might as well just take the pistol and just throw it at the demons. But I think that's what it was meant to be. The pistol was meant just to be a firearm, and you have something to start with, and then they give you the cool stuff later on. I do like the way that they instituted the chainsaw. Like, the chainsaw is more like a power-up item than it is, you can use it all the time, run around with it. Because if I had the chainsaw all the time, I would just be chainsawing everything. And at that point, I would feel like I'm playing Gears of War. And just chainsawing everything, because that's all I did in Gears. That's all I did in Gears. I just chainsawed everything. I didn't shoot anything. I just run up and chainsaw it. but I like the cadence that they were able to institute with the way that they built Doom out. So as I said, this game right here, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think that the only reason why I don't give it a 10 out of 10, I think that for me, with the snap map thing, I think that I don't know if people are going to be able to build the same level of complexity levels, at least starting off, that they did when they launched the game. I think that some of those tools, I think the tools in there are great, don't get me wrong. As a level builder myself, using things like Unreal and using things like the Cry engine and bringing those elements in there, I think that what they've done to bring that experience to the console and to the PC, I think they've done a good job of taking those tools that we use as professionals and giving you a toolkit that you can use as an amateur or somebody just getting into modding, and makes sense to you and you understand it and you're going to have fun with it. I just think for me, I just wish there were a little bit more level of complexity of how I could place things and things of that nature. But that's a minor quibble. Realistically, like I say, it's a strong 9 out of 10 for me. This is a definitely go buy game. I think this is one of the games that people were waiting to be really, really disappointed in, and you're gonna have to really nitpick and be really hard to have a bad time. I know a lot of people now are quibbling over the fact that you can do like dances and whatever else when you're doing the multiplayer. You can choose to do taunts and things like that. I don't care. Like I say, it's if you either you're gonna pick at Bethesda and id for making it too much like the original Doom and not innovating, or you're gonna pick at the fact that they try to innovate things and bring them up to a modern standard. And that's what I look at. I look at the things like doing the loadouts. I look at things like doing the taunts. Those are things that gamers have in modern games, and they don't detract away from the actual underlying enjoyment of the game. If it were something that were game breaking and it was like this made this a horrible game because they added loadouts, I do not think that anyone can argue that point that it's a horrible game because they added loadouts. It's just they added something that's more modern. You can't say that because you can taunt and you dance inside of there that it's a bad game. It's not. Realistically, for me, I think it's a game that if you love arena style shooters, and if you liked Doom, if you're a fan of the original Doom series, or you just want a game that you feel like a total badass in, this is, for me, this kind of feels like Borderlands meets Doom. So it's quick, fast, great weapons, great sound. And that's one thing I really didn't get into a lot, but I think the sound design in this game is fantastic. A lot of the procedural creations they're using for the monster break aparts are really nice, because you don't have because you're doing the execution so often, it's really cool not to see a bunch of canned animations. Like, there are a huge set of animations that are sitting in there, but it's like the game engine, picks from this huge library of possible executions and then just plays that animation. So it's not that you're never going to see the same animations twice. A lot of times you will see different animations when you kill demons, and you might kill the same type of demon and execute them and get a different way that it breaks apart because of the procedural way the animations are pulled, which is really cool. I think that those things are fantastic. Even the fact of using the guns and blowing up enemies, you get different bits and bobs and things popping off because it's procedural. So it's not like this canned, here's the same animation 4,000 times. And I think if they hadn't done those things and instituted new ways of the executions, the kills, the explosions of demons, it could have been a very repetitive game, because there's not a huge amount of enemy choices or enemy types that you fight against. It really is a repeating role of the same types of enemies, but the thing that makes it interesting and intriguing for the player is that you do not kill them the same way every time. I think that's how they fix the fact that you're getting the same role of enemies, which happens in most video games. It's not like it's a side scroller beat 'em up and you're getting the same guy with just different color palettes as if you're playing Final Fight, because that's what they used to do in Final Fight. They were just different colors. Sorry, if you didn't know that, then I burst your bubble. Anyway, that has been my review of Doom 2016. I'm going to start calling it Doom 2016. But that's been my review of Doom 2016. If you like these videos, then please subscribe down in the subscribe button. And as we're getting our Patreon set up, hopefully you'll come over to Patreon, because we're going to start doing some really cool stuff in a couple of weeks. I actually have a partner in crime, and we're going to be doing some shows, some insight from ourselves. We have about 25 years of experience in the visual effect, film, and gaming industry combined together. So we're going to be doing some really cool videos and stuff, and hopefully you will give patronage to those. But until next time, I am Delmico L. Cunningham, better known as Dr. Media.